Hi, hello, it's Nikki, and welcome to my messy bookshelves. Today, I am refilming my August wrap-up. I filmed this yesterday, and for some reason I can't get it to upload, so I'm refilming it, and yeah. Without further ado, let's get right into it. And if you can hear my dog walking around, it is because he has been stuck here because it is thundering, and my pit bull is scared of thunder, so. I did not read much more than what I talked about in my weekly wrap-ups or my weekly recaps. However, I did finish one other book and I did start another book. And the first one I have mentioned a few times already in my weekly recaps, and this is The Ladies of the Secret Circus by Constance Sayers. I really enjoyed this one. This one pulled me out of a reading slump, and I mean, what more do you need? There is a mysterious magical circus and a family drama. There are family secrets, there is scandal, there is tragedy. It was wonderful, and I really enjoyed it very much. So I will not talk too much because I've already talked about this book. The next one I also have talked about in my weekly recaps, but I have finished it. And this is Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. And I really enjoyed it. It was a chunker and it took me a little while to get through, but I'm glad that I read it. After The Ladies of the Secret Circus and this one, I feel like I'm officially out of my reading slump because this was a lot of reading. And this one was, as you would expect if you've ever read any of George R.R. Martin before, it was very gory and bloody, and very terrible things were happening to very terrible people, and very terrible things were happening to very nice people. So I spent a lot of the book like this. I could not believe that some of these things, I don't even know how he thinks of some of these things, but yes, it is the history of the events that took place around 300 years before the Game of Thrones series. So highly enjoyed it. I probably won't read another George R.R. Martin for a bit because I don't know that I can handle that much torture and massacre and, you know, just terrible things happening. But the world building is just on point. You know, we all know this if you've ever read any of his stuff. The world building is on point. It is very in-depth. So enjoyed it. Glad I read it finally because it's been sitting on my shelf since it came out. The next one that I finished was The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, and this one, I have to say that I have actually fallen in love. The characters in this book are the best. I literally fell in love. They are so charming, so funny. I love their dynamic. So if you are not familiar with this book, it is a series, but this is the first in the series, and it is about a group of friends. For, I think in the UK you call them pensioners, we just call them elderly people here in the US, but they are friends that reside in a retirement community. So they all live in their own very fancy posh apartments or condos or flats in a very upscale retirement community. And the four friends that we meet in this book, actually there's more than that, but the main four are elderly. They are very sassy, they are very clever, and each one of them brings something different to the table. And they spend Thursdays discussing cold cases and trying to come up with solutions to these cold cases, real life cold cases, real life to them. And they are doing this when suddenly a murder happens in their midst, and they are forced to come up with the solution. They believe it is up to them to solve the mystery of whodunit to this person who was murdered. So it was wonderful. And I have to say, with whodunits, I am usually pretty hard to impress because I am such an Agatha Christie stan. Like, I think that there are few people that I have read that have done it as well as she does. and I was very impressed with the mystery here. It was not right glaringly in front of your face. I did not figure out who done it. It did cross my mind, but even when it crossed my mind, it was not in the way that it actually happened. So I did not solve the mystery before the end of the book. And just, even if I had, I think the characters themselves would have kept me reading. So I fell in love. And I have purchased book number 2 because I can't wait to read the next book in this series. So I have found a new favorite to me for right now series, and yes, I highly recommend it if you like whodunits, and I cannot say enough good things about this book. And that was the last thing that I completed. And then I did start South by Sir Ernest Shackleton, and having read the book Endurance a few months ago, and if you have watched my channel, you know that I have mentioned it a few times, and I try not to talk about it all the time, but it was, I think, my favorite nonfiction that I have read this year. And I loved it, and I am very interested to see the events that took place in Endurance, but told from the point of view of the person who led the expedition. So this is told by Ernest Shackleton himself. So this is a first-person narrative of what happened throughout that very ill-fated expedition. And I am loving it so far. Like, I am only about a chapter in, but loving it so far. I did not finish it before the end of the month, so this is going to carry over into September because it is September 1st today. So, but yeah, that is it for my August wrap-up. I would love to hear what you guys have read, and if you've read any of the things that I have read. And I thank you so much if you've made it to the end of this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.